The plate shattered before I even realized I dropped it. Her words hung in the air like smoke after a gunshot, thick, choking, impossible to ignore. I should have married Bryan. For a second I just stared at her, my mind blank, my pulse thundering in my ears. The sound of glass splintering on tile felt distant compared to the ringing of her voice. Emily's face was red, her chest heaving from anger, or maybe guilt. We'd been arguing about something small, something stupid, a missed call, a forgotten grocery item. I can't even remember. But now those words cut through everything else. Bryan, her old college boyfriend, the one she swore was just a friend now, the one who still texted her on her birthdays and sent funny memes, because he knew her humor. I used to laugh it off. But now, hearing his name like that, spat out in a moment of venom, felt like the floor beneath me had vanished. Say that again, I whispered. Emily's lips parted slightly, eyes darting away as if she could reel the words back in. Mark, I didn't mean. No, I interrupted, my voice shaking. You said you should have married Bryan. Let's hear the rest. Why? Because I forgot to buy milk. She crossed her arms, but her face gave her away. There was something behind her anger. Something raw. I'm not doing this, she muttered. Not when you're like this. Like what? Awake. I shot back. She turned to leave the kitchen, but before she could take another step I added, You've been talking to him again, haven't you? Her shoulders stiffened. That was all the answer I needed. The rest of the night passed in silence. Not the peaceful kind, this was the kind that screamed. Every sound was amplified. The creak of the floorboards, the hum of the refrigerator, the soft tick of the wall clock. Emily slept in the guest room. Or tried to. I could hear her tossing and turning through the thin wall. Meanwhile, I lay staring at the ceiling, my chest tight. The room felt colder than it had in years, as if the warmth had followed her down the hall. When I finally dozed off, it was to dreams of a man I hadn't met in over a decade, tall, confident, always smiling in photos. Bryan, the golden boy of her college years. The one who didn't want to settle down. I woke up before dawn and went downstairs to make coffee. The mug felt too heavy in my hands. Emily joined me around 7, hair messy, eyes red-rimmed. She sat opposite me without a word. The silence stretched until I couldn't take it anymore. Are you seeing him? Her head snapped up. What? No. Then why say his name like that? I told you it slipped out. We were arguing, I was angry. You don't just slip out someone else's name in the middle of a fight with your husband, Emily. Her eyes filled with tears, but I wasn't ready to comfort her. Not this time. After a moment she whispered, Bryan reached out a few months ago. He's going through a divorce. We talked a little, that's all. Talked how? I pressed. Just messages. Catching up. Does he know you're married? Yes, of course. Does he act like it? That question hung heavy between us. She didn't answer. I stared down into my coffee. My reflection trembled in the dark liquid. I want to see the messages. Her eyes widened. Mark, no. That's private. So's my marriage, I said quietly. 2 hours later, she finally handed me her phone. The conversation thread with Bryan, old friend grinning face with sweat, was long, months long. I scrolled through messages that started out innocuous enough. Jokes, catch-ups, photos of his kids. Then slowly they changed. Him. Remember that cabin trip senior year? Her God, yeah. You got us lost for 2 hours. Him, best 2 hours of my life. Her, stop. You're terrible. Him. Still think about you sometimes, Em. Her, Bryan. I stopped there, my stomach twisting. Her hand trembled as she reached for the phone. It wasn't physical, Mark. I swear. That's not the point, I said, my voice breaking. You let it happen. You opened the door. I was lonely, she cried. You've been distant for months. Always working, always tired. So your solution was to flirt with someone else? She buried her face in her hands, sobbing. I didn't mean for it to go that far. I missed feeling wanted. That word, wanted, hit harder than I expected. I wanted her every day. I just thought she knew. For days we circled around each other like ghosts. We said good morning and good night, but everything else was silence. I stopped touching her. She stopped trying to talk to me. And then came Friday night. We'd been invited to dinner at a mutual friend's house. Ethan and Claire. The kind of couple that still held hands after 15 years. I wanted to cancel, but Emily insisted. We need to act normal, she said. So I went. Halfway through dinner, when conversation drifted to old college stories, Claire laughed. Hey, remember Bryan? That guy who always brought his guitar everywhere? I ran into him at the mall last week. I froze. Emily did too. Oh really? Ethan asked. What's he up to now? Something in real estate, Claire said. He mentioned he still keeps in touch with a few old friends. Said you two talk sometimes, Em. The table went quiet. Emily's smile faltered. Yeah, sometimes. Claire's tone softened. He seemed different. Sad actually. Said he regrets how things ended back then. I set down my fork slowly. What do you mean? How things ended? Claire blinked. Oh, I just meant he said he broke things off badly. That he thought maybe he'd made a mistake. Emily's hand trembled. Her face had gone pale. When we got home, she didn't even make it through the door before I asked, did you know he feels that way? She swallowed. He told me. When? A few weeks ago. My heart dropped. And what did you say? Her eyes filled with tears. I said I didn't know. That part of me wondered too. The world went silent. I took a step back. You wondered. Mark. No. Don't you dare. I felt like shouting, but my voice came out barely above a whisper. You told another man you might have been happier with him. Do you understand what that does to me? Her lip trembled. It wasn't like that. Then how was it? I don't know, she screamed suddenly. He made me feel like I mattered again. You used to look at me that way, Mark. Before everything became bills and deadlines and empty dinners. I stared at her, chest heaving. And instead of talking to me, you went looking for validation from the one man who broke your heart before I picked up the pieces? That was when she said it again, louder this time, sharper. Maybe I should have married him. The words hit harder than before, like a blade finding its mark. But before I could even respond, a new voice spoke from behind us. Maybe you should have. We both turned. Bryan stood in the doorway. For a second I thought I was hallucinating. But no, he was really there, holding a small box, his face stunned. Emily gasped. Bryan, what are you? How did you? Claire invited me, he said flatly. I didn't know you'd be here. I just wanted to drop this off. Something of yours from college. He held up the box, then froze as the tension in the air registered. I heard what you said. Emily went pale. Bryan, I didn't mean. He cut her off, his expression unreadable. You said you should have married me. You really think that? She looked from him to me, trembling. Bryan, please. He took a slow step closer, eyes burning. Because I don't. You think I don't know what this is? You're scared. You want to run back to the past because it's easier than fixing what's in front of you. Don't talk to me like that, she snapped, voice breaking. He laughed bitterly. Like what? Like someone who still knows you better than you know yourself. He paused, then softened slightly. Emily, I'm not the one you want. You just want to feel something. And when you look at Mark, all you see is what you've lost, not what you still have. Tears streamed down her face now. Stop. Bryan shook his head. You don't need me. You need to figure out why you can't be honest with him or yourself. Then, without another word, he turned and walked out the door. Emily stood frozen for a moment, then bolted toward the bathroom, sobbing. The sound of the door slamming echoed through the house. I just stood there, numb. She didn't come out for nearly an hour. When she finally did, her eyes were swollen, and her hands shook as she spoke. Mark, I'm so sorry. I didn't answer. I don't want him, she said quietly. I don't even think I ever really did. I just got lost. I wanted to feel like I mattered again, and I thought he could give that to me. But he's right. I've been lying to both of us. I met her eyes. Then tell me one truth, I said softly. Do you love me? She hesitated for a long, painful moment, then nodded. Yes. But I broke something, didn't I? I looked away. Yeah, you did. The silence that followed wasn't cruel. It was just empty, like two people standing in the ruins of something they both built, wondering if it could ever be rebuilt. When she finally reached for my hand, I didn't pull away, But I didn't hold on either. Maybe someday I would. But not tonight. Tonight, all I could do was sit there, among the shards of what used to be us, and listen to the faint sound of her crying in the next room, wondering how love could shatter so quietly.